Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about all of the players that we all should be keeping an eye on for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Week 2 matchup versus the Detroit Lions. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video, by the way. We'll talk about them a little bit later on in this video, but I do want to say, of course, we are going to be talking, it goes without mentioning, I should say, all the players that are playing because of injuries are on this list. I'm talking about Justin School because Luke Gedeke has been ruled out. I'm talking about Tyreek Thunderberg and Keenan Isaac in case Zion McCollum doesn't play, or Keenan Isaac, or I guess I should say Josh Hayes is out. So yes, Keenan Isaac and Tyreek Thunderberg, in case they play, they would be on this list as well. Of course, you have maybe Mike Green, maybe CJ Brewer, Will Golston would be in that list because Kalijah Kancey is also ruled out. You could even throw Greg Gaines in there as well. But those guys all go without saying, in my opinion. We've talked about those guys in separate videos. I don't have to mention it again. But one or two guys that are worth mentioning is the inside linebackers. I think KJ Britt and Servassier Dennis are a couple of guys worth mentioning. Really interesting situation where KJ Britt, just to be honest, didn't have a great game in week 1. He looked a bit slow, looked like he was getting a little bit outpaced against the Washington Commanders. You saw a bit more of Servassier Dennis in the second half there. Is that going to be something that is going to continue? I don't know, but it's a legitimate question. Servassier Dennis showed a little bit more juice out there. And look, I like KJ Britt. I do. I think that he can be a very good player in this league. I want to see him succeed, but we're just going to have to wait and see, point blank, simple as that. So I am curious to see if Servassier Dennis gets some more snaps than KJ Britt. I am curious to see if KJ Britt does retain his spot as that number 2 linebacker. I know it's like week 2, obviously, and maybe that's an overreaction on my part, but it is something I'm still genuinely interested to see how the team divvies out those snaps going forward. Real quick, guys, I do want to say, again, thank you so much to BetUS for being the sponsor of this YouTube channel. I'm going to show you guys their website real quick just to show you guys how simple it is to get a bet out there. Again, BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. They do have a new deal where if you use the code YouTube150, you will get 150% match on the first 3 deposits up to $2,000. So make sure you go check out BetUS. It's just as simple as clicking the sports book. They have chat with us. They have a hotline that you can call as well, and you can bet on anything. I'm talking about football, basketball, hockey, baseball, anything, even martial arts if you want to. Heck, even politics if you want to. They've got absolutely everything here on BetUS, so make sure you go check them out. They are a proud sponsor of this channel. But again, guys, going back to the defensive side of the ball and just thinking about that, Logan Hall may make his debut, and that's a cool thing in my opinion. I want to see Logan Hall succeed, obviously. Last year was not a great year for Hall. He did some things okay, but in terms of pass rushing ability, took a dip from his rookie year. In terms of just a lot of things that we saw that maybe would encourage you in that rookie year, we didn't see a lot in year number 2. So year number 3 is a very crucial year for Logan Hall. We've talked about this in multiple videos now. And we'll see if he can succeed or not, right? He should be making his debut, all things considered, as I spit all over my microphone. But it's going to be a big if, right? It's going to be a big if. So I'm curious to see how Hall does going forward here in what is possibly going to be his debut. Also, well, I guess I should mention Christian Izien is going to be on that list because Antoine Winfield Jr. is out again. He kind of is with all the injured guys. I want to see Izien do well also. He's a bit of an interesting case because he didn't play safety last year. He played nickel cornerback. I like Izien as a defensive back. How is he going to do moving forward? We are just going to have to wait and see. On the offensive side of things now, kind of shifting gears, I want to pay attention to the 3 rookies, man. McMillan, Bucky Irving, and Graham Barton. By all accounts, they looked good in week number 1. I made a whole freaking video talking about Bucky Irving and whether or not he could dip more into Rachaad White's snap total going forward. Of course, Jan McMillan had a 32-yard touchdown. You know, chef's kiss to that. Baker was going crazy, by the way, in that game. He's another guy you should be paying attention to. And Graham Barton helped set the tone for the run game and the offensive line play as a whole. So, yeah, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be paying more attention to these guys and how they continue to grow and develop here, as they all 3 had a pretty decent game number 1. I'm going to be curious to see how they go forward in week number 2. Baker Mayfield's of course going to be on that list. He went absolutely crazy. You love to see that. You want to see that continue, right? Cade Otton is another name I'm going to throw out there. I think that Cade only got 1 or 2 targets in week number 1. Maybe we'll see that grow and continue, but there's a lot of mouths to feed on that offense. There's a lot of mouths to feed on that offense. So I'm going to be curious to see if the Bucs maybe tend to use Otton more, maybe even as a red zone threat. Who knows? We're going to have to wait and see. But they didn't use him a lot in week 1. Will that continue in week number 2? I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, then finally, gosh, I got to talk about Liam Cohen. Dude was cooking in week number 1. And the Lions are a pretty good football team, both offensively and defensively as well. I think if Liam Cohen goes out there and cooks yet again for this offense, you got to say this dude's legit. You've got to. I mean, again, a lot of people write off the Washington Commanders. Oh, it's the Commanders. LOL. It is what it is. But, like, if he goes out there and cooks yet again, and cooks the Lions, and the Bucs offense looks very competent, this dude's legit. I mean, he is just legit. And, like, it's kind of crazy. Like, you could even say that he could be a future head coach for the Bucs, because again, like, if you have another scenario where Cohen cooks the entire year, I know I'm thinking way ahead, and this is probably not even probably, this is a big overreaction, but like, I was talking to my colleague Gavin Wanish about this from the Cannon Fire podcast. Look, if Liam Cohen goes out there, cooks the entire year, teams want to go and sign him as a head coach. Do the Bucs say, hey, Todd, look, man, we're sorry, we're gonna have to let you go because you're hiring too great of prospects here? Dave Canales went to go be a head coach. Now we got this guy going off and being head coach. We don't have a choice but to promote this guy. It'd be an unfortunate circumstance, but that's just the business of the NFL, baby. And it would suck. I mean, maybe you could have some type of role for Todd Bowles somewhere, but I mean, the dude might just be really good at hiring offensive coordinators. I mean, Todd Bowles. Look, Liam Cohen's cooking. Maybe Todd Bowles is cooking as well with his hires, man. Again, I'm like thinking way far ahead into the future, but if Cohen cooks again in Detroit, this dude's legit, man. This dude's pretty legit. So, guys, that's it from me. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about all of the players and coaches that I mentioned down in the comments section below. Thank you again to BetUS for sponsoring this video. It's greatly appreciated. Who else are you all going to be keeping an eye on here in this upcoming matchup? Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear it. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. As always, folks, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.